Build a website you love with Wix.
All right, everybody. It's us. We are back. That SEC Powers Hour, the show of the people, for the people, and by the people. That is the SEC Powers Hour. Joe, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm the voice of the people here on the SEC Powers Hour. And, coming in hot after a one-game pick'em last week. I'm off on fire, man, as you would imagine. So I'm fired up and ready to go. How are you?
Oh, man. Doing pretty good. We've got a short week up here. It's the holiday weekend, so the girls are out of school Friday and Monday. So we've got a nice 4-day chunk here. Football is on the screen over here. In case you didn't know, Southern Florida is currently whipping up on Boise State. So, I'm good. I am good. I'm happy that we're back here talking football because that's fun. I like that. That's the thing I enjoy most. And like you said, though, there is zero reason for us to not just jump right into it. What do you say we get after it?
Yeah, got a lot to choose from this week. Might as well.
That's right. SEC news, which is how we kick everything off. Joe, tonight we're going to start talking about, since the season is here, some teams already have their coaches on the hot seat. They don't know whether or not they're going to stay there, if they can get off, who's going to last, all that kind of stuff. Joe, from your point of view, as we start the season, any of those four or somebody else you think is really on the hot seat here in the SEC to start the year?
Well, those four pretty much do top the list, in my opinion. I mean, you could say Mark Stoops at Kentucky if you wanted to. He has been, in some people's eyes, riding that fence way too long. Time to make a step, right? If he doesn't meet expectations this year, he could find himself on the hot seat. But all in all, Brent Venables there at OU, I think, is really the man with the biggest keister fire going on at the moment. And we talked about that a little bit last week. I told you about OU. I'm like, I don't even understand why they're in the SEC, why they're playing football. They're just a tractor trailer, hot garbage mess. That's what they are. So Brent Venables has every reason to be packing his bags and have one seat in the checkout lane, if you know what I mean.
Oh, my goodness.
Hugh Freeze, Sam Pittman, Billy Napier. Of the rest of the ones that I think are on the list there, I would probably say Hugh Freeze has the, it's all or nothing. It's off the cliff or, riding high for him always. And he's just 1 year away from an SEC violation or some NCAA suspension always. So, if he doesn't come in and do something great, his ass is always on the hot seat. It'll stay there. Billy Napier, I just think he should have been fired a couple of years ago. So why not?
Why not?
And, of course, Sam Pittman. I like the pit boss. I'd like to see him hang around, but his keister's always in a bind too. So
yeah,
I think those are fair four to stay on the hot seats, and I think in that list of actionability, it is Venables, Freeze, Napier, then Pittman, and if you want to talk Mark Stoops or Kalen DeBoer, even Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, some people say he could be on the hot seat as well, but I don't know so much about that. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't feel DeBoer. He's fine. They're going to give him this year. Now, if they go out this year and underperform by Bama standards, 3 losses, 4 losses, something like that, there will be people who are upset because literally every Alabama person I know thinks that they are absolutely a playoff team, and more than a few of them think they should win the conference and the national championship. So I understand that.
How funny is it, by the way, though? Just received a text message. Matt Cochran chiming in on the old bat phone over here, man. He's like, don't forget the Bama coach. Matt, that's right. I got you covered, man. I just mentioned before.
Well, the guy that we didn't mention, though, is Brian Kelly. right? We didn't talk about Brian Kelly. Now there are a lot of, because in this decade, Joe, LSU is 0-5 in season openers, and they've got a whopper coming up this weekend. We're going to get to that later, but there are folks who are unhappy with Brian Kelly down at LSU. I've always been sort of lukewarm on Kelly. Like, I think he's fine. I don't see him as a game changer. But when LSU hired him, that place was in a mess, right? They absolutely needed somebody that could bring stability. That's a fact. He's done that, but I don't know that he's going to be able to do anything to elevate them. Now, you hear him talk this year, he thinks they're winning the national title. You hear Nussmeier talk, that's the way he talks. And they have players, they brought in guys to fill holes. They feel like they've got a roster that can do it. That one could be the one that could swing the furthest, right? Like, they think they're a national championship contender, but if it doesn't go well, he could absolutely be on the hot seat by the time we get to the end of the year if it really doesn't go well.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I didn't mention him just simply because he's that forgettable to me, and I mean that in the most manila way you can say it, and that's what I mean, because you've got LSU, you've got a team, you've got an LSU nation there that believes they are a national championship team, and you got a coach with Brian Kelly who is nothing more than the perennial game manager at the quarterback position or the head coach position. That's how I see him. He's not going to be the guy that's going to take you to an elite status. I just don't think he's that coach. So it'll just be a matter of is it tolerable for LSU to have the talent that they have and not have a coach that has the cojones to make the calls to get them to where they need to be.
Yeah.
And if they tolerate,
all
that's the way I see him. He's not a bad coach. Ability, yeah, but he's not a game changer.
Well, and all that's fine. It is a player's game, though. The players have to go out and perform. But if you're going to stand up there and tell me, like, he stepped to the podium a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and said, I've been around NFL players on the offensive line. I know what they look like. I think we have a really good offensive line. I'm like, come on, BK. That's like, you lost first rounders off of that crew. You know what I mean? And they're playing on Sundays right now. And so you're telling me that this group, and what he's saying is this group as a unit, he thinks is better than last year's, even though they had that talent, right? So he's just making all kinds of big, bold statements. So there's some heavy lifting to be done down on the bayou. Joe, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Thanks, everybody, for jumping in here with us. We appreciate y'all showing up at a different time and a different day. Tim's in here. Carol's in here, of course. I've seen Enrique. What's up, y'all? And TriStar jumping in here. Looks like, is that a Tennessee Volunteer logo? What? You're welcome. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome as long as we play nice. We love to have you in here with us. He says, and we got to like him already, Joe. He says Brian Kelly will be going back to his family. Do you remember the fake Southern accent bit with Brian Kelly? Yeah. So that's a pretty good callback right there.
I like that.
Stuff. I know.
What's up, folks in the chat?
That's good stuff. All right, so let's keep it moving. Now, last week we talked about who is in the preseason AP top 25 in the SEC. You can see them here. Quick recap: Texas, Georgia, Bama, LSU, Carolina, Florida, Oklahoma, A&M, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. I mean, we are looking here at 10 inside the top 25 out of the SEC. Really well represented. Tonight, we're just going to take a quick second and bounce through some of the biggest games that the SEC is involved in this weekend. And let's start with Auburn and Baylor. Joe, they play tomorrow night. I saw a thing today where they were comparing rosters. And I don't mean, you say, how do you do that? What I mean is just like those mathematical things that they do where this player is rated this much and you take the recruiting class rating overall and you balance it out versus blue chip recruits on your roster and all this. And the way it shook out was that Auburn is in a much better position than Baylor is, like twice as well off as Baylor is. So if you look at that number, if you think, okay, Baylor is just not as talented, then Auburn should be able to go win this thing. Is that right, Joe? Because Auburn has to travel out there to play the Bears out in Texas. Is Hugh Freeze going to be able to go on the road and get this thing done, or are we going to start with a flop tomorrow night here in the SEC?
Well, I'll say this.
And we're not making picks yet. We'll pick it later, but just
I'll say
thoughts.
this. You may not know, but there is some Dublin blood there in Baylor. We had
I
some
did
guys
not know that.
transfer over there,
Okay.
and so they've got some talent that I'm familiar with and have watched play. Baylor may not have the blue chips, the people that nationally rank on the rosters and all of that stuff that you were just mentioning, but they do have some ball players out there, and I do believe there is every bit of a possibility for the SEC to get a black eye out of the gate here. We're not going to make a pick, but we'll just say that
Not
it's
yet.
possible. There's talent. There's
Yeah.
talent out there, and anytime you got to go there and play, I think it's different. In Auburn,
Yeah.
they like to play at home.
Yeah. Yeah. They do. Those alien spaceships, they lean on the voodoo that they do over there. So, all right. Well, what else we got going on? Joe, this is one I've been excited about for months, really. Not even
Yeah.
joking. Like this game, in case you didn't know, Fran Brown is the head coach at Syracuse. Fran Brown was at Georgia before he went to Syracuse. And Fran Brown did his best to take everything that he learned from Kirby and go, you know what? I'm going to build that here, up here in the North. Now, he can't do quite the same thing yet, but he had a good team last year. They used the portal well last year. And the thing that we learned about a Fran Brown team is they are tough and they're going to fight and they're not going to beat themselves. Like those are the traits that I noticed in them. Tennessee, obviously, Nico, I'm about to leave you, left them. And now they're playing Aguilar up there, it looks like. This game says it looks like it's at Tennessee. It's actually at the Benz here in Atlanta, right? So it's a neutral site game. So you're going to have a lot of Tennessee people there. I don't know how well Syracuse is going to be represented, but I got to tell you, man, I'm excited for this game. Like, I think this is another one where if Tennessee doesn't go about their business, they could take an L right here. I think the conference could lose another game.
Yeah, and again, I have to rely on the knowledge that I have, which is you got a Dublin connection there, and Syracuse as well. Steve Linton playing up there, big defensive end player for Syracuse, and I mean they've got talent, and if they can be solid and just steady, right? Tennessee is in my opinion, a team that has to rely on the big play, and they have to rely on just explosive offensive play and momentum on defense. I don't think that they're stable and consistent and just go and grind. And Syracuse could be that team. Makes them try to play that way. If they do, it'll be close. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll pick all these games a little bit later. Right now, we're just giving an overview. Now, this one is getting a lot of people's attention. Of course, this game, our buddies Herb and Raj over at the Herb and Raj podcast, they are going to Tallahassee. They're going to be at the game. So I think they're going to get rained on. I think it's going to be crazy down there. They're going to get rained on, but they were going to go have a good time. They fully expect that Alabama's going to win this game by 2 touchdowns. I asked them the other night, what is a disappointing outcome? And they told me, at least Raj told me, if they only win by 10, he's disappointed. So
really?
Yeah, and because in case you missed it, the Florida State quarterback who played at Boston College last year said a lot of stuff over the summer, and it got into the Alabama locker room, and Alabama had T-shirts made and all this stuff about what he was saying, and it's a thing. There's been a whole lot of back and forth, and I'm like, on one hand, I totally get it, right? Everybody's looking for something to keep you motivated through weightlifting sessions. Got it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're friggin' Bama. You know what I mean? Like, since when do you need to be like, they said something mean about me, so now I'm going to play hard? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that part of it, I'm like, I don't quite get it. I just didn't feel like the Alabama that I'm used to. Maybe I'm just totally reading it wrong. And like I said, I totally get the off-season motivation. But I'm interested in how they go down there and play, because Alabama's breaking in a new quarterback. Everybody knows their defense is going to be lights out. They have a good running backs. The wide receivers are supposed to be unstoppable. So if they get any kind of play from their quarterback, this shouldn't be a close game. But Florida State has to be embarrassed about how they played last year. So you got to think they're going to try to show up and do something. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I really think that this game is going to be one that should be surely in hand for Alabama. I mean, we'll get to picks in a little bit, like we talked about, but I would think that the abilities and before I talked about what I think Florida State is going to do, just back to the locker room chat,
Yeah,
and I agree with you in the fact that I don't know why Alabama is making that something that is an issue where they're talking about it and just making it more of a point, because that's definitely not the DNA that we're used to from Bama.
it feels
Uh,
weird.
yeah, it is. That's a little weird, but I don't think Florida State's got enough in the bag down there. I just don't. So I mean, we'll see. I'll give you my official picks in a little bit, but I don't know. I probably have to Herb and Rod. Are they in the chat? Are they listening?
I haven't
I don't know.
seen them.
Herb and
Like I
Rod,
said, they were
maybe,
traveling. They were traveling, right? They're
maybe,
going down to the game.
maybe I
So
might have to lean close to agreeing with them in their conversation. I don't know. We'll see.
maybe double digits. Take care of that one. All right, we'll get to that in a little while. Now, we can't talk SEC without talking about my Bulldogs, Joe. Marshall, the Thundering Herd, comes between the hedges on Saturday. The last time Marshall came was, I believe, 2004, or 2004 or 2005. And that game was surprisingly close. That was a 13-10 Georgia victory. Now, keep in mind, this is not the same Georgia team that was. This is not the same Marshall team that was. Okay. We're talking about two completely different things here. But it's one of those deals where I got to talk about my dogs. They're kicking it off. I'm excited about it. Thoughts on Marshall, Georgia?
I think it'll be a big game for Georgia at home playing. I think it'll be a good game for my Raven QB to get in there and get some playing time and get his feet under him and feel good. I'll be curious to see, really what the game turns into, what we see in Athens from the Bulldogs. But
Yeah.
I don't expect that we'll see much more than what you would expect to see from a Marshall program. I just want you to know, I did text, by the way, while we were talking about Florida State, I did text my boy Jeff Cameron, who is, my radio partner
Name
there.
dropper. Yep.
Yeah, name dropper for Florida State.
Mhm.
And I was like, will the game be close? And I see his dots. I mean, he's going to communicate back to me there. But we'll see what he says about Bama and FSU. And if you don't know Jeff Cameron, he is a great guy there. He does a lot with Florida State, covers them online, does a radio show, pregame show, all that stuff. So we'll see what he says about that. But I think Georgia's going to be Georgia, and we should be impressed with the Dogs at home. I hope we are.
Well, I certainly hope so too. Joe, the new person here, has decided to jump in with a super chat, $2. Thank you for the $2, Mr. TriStar. Make sure you read my comments. I will. I have been. I was trying to figure out a way to work them into the conversation.
Yeah.
But regardless of all that, we can go ahead and give you one of those. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate it. So let's take a look at a couple of these, because he was letting us know what's going on. He was talking about power rankings inside the conference, which we covered earlier, and he was appreciating the Auburn Baylor SEC Southwestern Conference matchup. I appreciate that one as well. The Tennessee Syracuse, that's Big East. Joe, do you remember? Now this triggers something for me. Do you remember one of us was going to school at Piedmont College back in 1996, 96 or 97. I forget. You would have been 98 maybe. What was your freshman year?
That would have been my sophomore year in college, would have been 99.
Okay, so
99.
I remember waking up in your dorm room after a night of good times, and Tennessee and T. Martin were playing Donovan McNabb and Syracuse were playing Tennessee up in Syracuse. That game was the big game of the day on the television. That's a flashback, like, golly, that's more than a quarter century ago. But Syracuse and Tennessee just flashed into my brain right there from way back. What's going on, man? What do you think? Do you remember that at all?
That's funny.
The can.
I do remember
it's
that.
It's in the window. The can.
Yes,
it's in the window.
I do remember that. I could tell stories here, but I will not. It was just a really funny night and a really rough day for me following after a really good night. But that was a lot of fun. I do
Yeah,
remember
man.
in the dorm room.
Yeah, man. All right, here we go. They're gonna call me out. Look at Jeremy Nix. Hold on, let me see if I can position this a little better, make it easier to read. Jeremy says, the old dog in the building. I owe you an apology. I low-key got in my feelings last night when you picked Alabama to beat Georgia. Man, I don't want to. But it's like I was talking about with Joe. It's one of those things where I can totally see how Georgia beats Alabama by 10 or more. But when you look across the schedule, I just don't think anybody is just going to roll through undefeated. And if I'm looking for where they might get got, that just seems like one that could happen. So I had to find somebody. I couldn't bring myself to pick them to say they were going to lose to Florida. So I had to do something. So no hard feelings though. I appreciate it.
Well,
I
let me
appreciate
just
it.
tell you before we skip too far away, my boy Jeff got back to me here. He's like, "Hey Joe, what's up?" And I told him, "I was like, hey, on our live ACC Powers Hour, by the way, tune in, Jeff." And he was like, "I would be surprised if it's close." And this is coming from our FSU guys. So
Okay.
Reverend Raj might have a nice trip. We'll see.
Well, you know what? I think I might just make that a heavy lean. I might just have a heavy lean based on that insider information right there.
If he shoots you straight, man, he's like, I don't know. I don't even think it's going to be close. So we'll see.
Well, we have a big one to talk about next, Joe. It's not the game of the week, but it's a big one. LSU is traveling over to South Carolina, Joe, over in the cow field, right near where we grew up.
That's right.
And they're taking on the Clemson Tigers, and they're going to fist fight out there amongst the cow patties to determine who has the real Death Valley. Before we go any further, Joe, regardless of who wins, do you have an opinion on who has the real Death Valley?
I don't think there's any doubt in this conversation at all.
Okay.
It's in the bayou, man. I mean, it is in the bayou. And I mean, I can get my boy Chris Blair, name dropper, on the phone right now if you want to. We'll get him in here, the voice of your Tigers there in LSU, and back on Rouge, and he'll tell you the same. I don't think there's any conversation about it at all.
Okay, but see, wait, there's more. Now, that is the discussion about Death Valley. Yeah. Here's the more important question. Who has the better version of Tiger Rag?
Do you
want me to tell you? Do you want me to tell you my opinion?
Go ahead.
For me, it ain't even close. Clemson has the best version of Tiger Rag.
See, I was right there with you. I was going to have to say it, but I'm glad you did. I got to go.
I would agree with you. LSU has Death Valley.
We heard it too much growing up. I don't know.
That's it. That's what it is. LSU has Death Valley, but Clemson has the fight song. That's what I'm going with there. So maybe everybody's happy now. I don't know. Probably not, but that's how it goes. So
Jeremy in the chat there, the real Death Valley, Mike, the Tiger is a real spot on, my friend. You can put a big ass tiger in a cage, and I'm just like.
I got to tell you though that they just call him Tiger. That's his name over at Clemson. The mascot, the fuzzy one. Yeah. They just call him the Tiger. That is a weird looking mascot, bro. Like his eyes, they are like something else. I'm like, you're freaking me out, dude. I don't even know. You are. Oh my God. I know, right? It's one of those things where I'm like, those eyeballs are weird, and it's gotten better. It used to be really scary. It used to straight up be a kid's nightmare, and now
Ventura beat his butt on the sideline or in a movie. No, that was Miami. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was different. That was
Ventura. I mean, that's an Ace Ventura statement.
So in this game, it's a marquee matchup. There's a lot of stuff for the fans to talk about leading into it, but ultimately, people want to point to these two quarterbacks. Now, Nussmeier for LSU, they gave him number 18. Now, if you don't know what that means, that's like a really important number down at LSU because it's supposed to represent a high character, very strong leadership sort of player, right? So in years past, you've had true legends at LSU wear that jersey, right? And now Nussmeier has it. So clearly they think a lot of that young man, and they should. He's a good quarterback. He's a good dude from all appearances. He seems like a good guy. Now on the other side though, you got Cade Klubnik. Don't drink and live stream, friends. Cade Klubnik is playing. He's been over at Clemson. I swear he's been there 8 years.
I think I played against him.
I
mean,
know.
I was over here in Newberry.
He's been there forever. And the thing, oh, take it away. Get it off the screen. Get that off the screen. The thing about Klubnik is the AP pegged him as their preseason All-America, right? And there are other outlets who pegged Nussmeier that way. So everybody wants to talk about the quarterbacks. But, Joe, I got to tell you, I think the real difference in this game is going to come down to the defenses. I think we know that LSU had better be better, and that Clemson has a really good defense. But the thing about, and this, I'll get into this a little bit more later, there's a chink in that Clemson defense. I think that these defenses are going to figure out, they're going to determine who wins this thing. So that's my little inside skinny right there. So you got anything on these quarterbacks or anything else? I mean, because there's a lot to talk about here.
Well, I will say this, though, in breaking news here, LSU safety will miss the first half of that game, and that's going to be an important ball player out there for LSU. That's
Why?
breaking on my LSU wire.
Why?
I didn't get to see the rest of the message there, so if I can find it back real quick,
I wonder
will.
if that's team violations or something. If it's just or unless it's a carryover from the bowl game, maybe that's it. Maybe he got ejected in the bowl game.
LSU safety will miss the first half of the Clemson game following an ejection in Houston's last game last
year. So he transferred in. I got you. Okay. Well, there you go. So maybe that'll be something. Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, because that's the kind of thing that's the thing about Clemson. They're supposed to have some really good wide receivers over there, looking more like those teams that won the national title a few years back. So maybe they can take advantage. But we'll pick them later. Moving on. This was not the game of the week. That game is at noon on Saturday. King, Texas, Joe. King, Texas. They get the Joe. Have you ever heard of a preseason #1 team in the country that is an underdog in week 1?
No.
I don't even know how to compute that. You know what I mean? Like, so you're #1 by this much, and home field advantage makes you an underdog. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, come on now. I know that preseason polls are preseason polls, but if you're the #1, that just seems, I don't know. I might be embarrassed, Joe.
One of these things are not like the other. The #1 team should not be the underdog. So come on now. I mean, it doesn't take a sober man to know that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a drunk man either. But
no.
I'm just saying, doesn't take a whole lot away from the brown water to know that something ain't right. That conversation right there. That's all I'm saying.
Holy cow. I saw somebody in the chat here say that Boise was getting housed, and I turned and looked. It's 30-7. When I looked away, it was like 17-7. I don't know what Boise did, but man.
It was Enrique. He's like, Boise is getting dump trucks right now. I love it. I love it. Enrique. I love the flavor, my man.
Well, we're going to get to it. We got some more. We're going to pick some of these games tonight, that are played. So we're going to get there. I know. We're trying to get through these. We keep talking too much, Joe. Speaking of talking, Jeremy Nix, he jumped in here and said, is there any update on Georgia's punter playing on Saturday? Jeremy, all I can tell you, friend, is I don't know anything beyond what Kirby Smart said from the podium on Tuesday, which was that he is kicking, but he's not quote unquote live kicking. And what he means is covering down, running, doing all that kind of stuff. Because remember, that's how Brett got hurt. He was covering the punt. Like he was trying to get that dude out of bounds. He was heading over there to lower the booms, what he was doing. That's what he was doing. But then as he went to break down to make the tackle, that knee said,
oh, no.
And down he goes. And that was sad because I like me some Brett Thorson. Good news is he's healing well. He's on track. We just don't know if he's ready to actually kick on Saturday. I am hopeful, but it's like I said in my preview video. I just think if there's any question, you've got another best punter in America that you recruited last year. Let him kick against Marshall, against Austin P.
Yeah.
Who cares? get
What up,
Brett
Teresa,
healthy.
by the way? Hey, Teresa in the chat. Love to see you.
That's right. People just keep on showing up. They know we're over here. We're having a good time. I appreciate everybody hanging in here with us. All
Matt is
right.
just blowing up my text message, by the way. Matt, I'm not ignoring you, brother. I'm reading it all. Reading it all out there.
See, I chatted with Matt earlier today. It was great to hear from my old buddy. And I told him about the streams, you know, he's out with his family tonight, so they're doing family stuff, so he couldn't watch. I'm like, well, you can listen in maybe if you want to. So I'm happy if he's able to hit you up on the chat and go back and forth, because I'm on the ones and twos over here. I'm glad he's texting you, because if he was texting me, I'd be like, I can't do that right now. All right, so Joe, King, Texas, they're on the road, #1 team in the country as an underdog. I don't even know. Game of the week, Texas. You're in the SEC. This is one of those games where, as much as I'm not a rah-rah SEC guy, there's still something going on here. You don't need to go up there and get housed, Texas. Okay? This is Ohio friggin' State. All right? We don't lose to Ohio State. Like, that's not what we do. So, what do you got, Joe? Come on, put it on the platter for me. Before we pick, what are you thinking? This is something else right here.
It's just embarrassing. That's all there's. I don't know what else to say. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? It's week 1, game of the week, and I'm already just like, oh, Texas.
I know.
You're stuck in a big pile of it, man. And you haven't even got on the field yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I feel about it.
Man,
You know
I do. I am absolutely with you on this, man. There's no doubt about it. So I think, Joe, we have gilded the lily long enough. We've sort of talked about all the craziness out there. It's time for us to move into our picks. Are you ready to do it? You ready to get into it? Cool. Let's go about it like this. We got a whole slate of games we got to get through, so we won't spend too much time, but you're free to share your thoughts. But we got a bunch of games to get through. We'll start with all the SEC games first, and then we'll look around the country and see what else is interesting going on out there. Now, guys, in case you missed it, your boy is already up 1-0 in the season rankings, and Joe and his illegitimate ring show over there.
I still have the ring.
I expect that you guys are all flooding his inbox with just emails of complaint, direct messages of disdain, and you are forcing him to put that thing in a box, send it back this way, because the rightful owner is sitting right here. But
I'm like Texas, though. I have the ring.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. Well, let's make sure that this sucker is going to scroll for me here. It's not scrolling, Joe. It's not scrolling. So, well, I don't know what's going on with that. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to back out of it, and then we're going to come back into it and see if I can get it to scroll. Does that sound like a plan? Let's see if I can, because otherwise, I'm like, that's what a screen share is supposed to do. All right, let's jump back in here now. There it is. Okay, so Joe, let's start at the top here, right? So Central Arkansas and Missouri, they're kicking off. Right, they're already playing. Missouri's winning. Can we just agree Missouri's going to win this one? We both take Missouri.
Let's hope so. Let's just move on.
All right, There we go. Now, tomorrow night, Auburn, Baylor. Joe, we talked about it a second ago. Who you got?
Auburn on the road gets the win. It will be close, but I think Auburn, Hugh Freeze gets out there and they're going to do something, and they're going to make everybody think that they're a good team for like 24 hours.
I think we might see some flash from those Auburn wide receivers, and give me Auburn too. I'm going to say they'll probably win by maybe a touchdown. I'm going to say they win by a touchdown. So give me Auburn right there. Now, let's go ahead and get this one out of the way, since we were just talking about it. Texas and Ohio State, Joe. Final thoughts, prediction.
I don't know. Does this look enough like a Buckeye for me to get the go? I mean,
I don't know. Really. I don't think so.
I don't know, but I'm going to go with Ohio State.
Okay. Any reason? Any reason?
I hate Texas. Their underdogs is #1 on the road, game 1. Everybody knows what I'm saying. I'm just the voice of the people here. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows Ohio State is fixing to beat Texas.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back 6 months ago to the first time I actually thought about this game. I had a thought. I'm going to go with that thought. Give me Ohio State to beat Texas and embarrass the SEC in week 1. And we're just gonna have to live with the crazy Big Teners telling us, that it is the way it is. Okay, Joe, Syracuse and Tennessee. We talked about it before. I don't know why this thing's sticking. So, we talked about it before. I'm gonna pick Syracuse. Give me Fran Brown and Syracuse to beat Tennessee here in the great state of Georgia in Atlanta at the Dome.
Well, as much as I would agree with you, and on the surface I do, but because it is in Atlanta, and because Tennessee will bring the house to Atlanta, Tennessee will get the win because they're going to ride the energy of the crowd. Syracuse will not travel that well. Tennessee.
And that makes a difference. Okay. For whatever that is, right? Even in a corporate setting like that. Mississippi State has to go on the road, Joe, to play Southern Miss. Who you got?
Oh, man. I mean, I don't know. Let me tell you, I know zero about Southern Miss right now. Like, not one thing. Not one thing.
Okay.
And I'm still almost tempted to take Southern Miss. You know what I'm saying?
But
I'm going to take Mississippi State.
Okay.
I feel like I may regret that. Could be the bourbon that's giving me indigestion right now. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with Mississippi State.
I'm going to put my money on Blake Shapen, Mississippi State's quarterback. He's back. The kid's a playmaker. That's reason enough. Give me Mississippi State to win the game. Toledo and Kentucky, Joe. The Rockets are coming down to the Bluegrass.
Yeah, I love the Rockets. I do, but they are not going to be. I mean, forget it. It is going to be about Mark Stoops getting the win. Start where he's going to be on the right side of the fence right out of the gate. Kentucky gets the win.
They're a 10-point favorite in this game. I don't know what that says about Toledo, but I'm with you. This is one of the games Kentucky has to win if they're going to do anything at all this year. They got to get the ones they can get. So Kentucky wins this one. Marshall and Georgia. Joe, I'm going to go first. Georgia's going to win this game. Kirby Smart and the Dogs in season openers over the last handful of years have averaged winning this game by 28 points. So I'm just going to sit on that number and say, give me the Dogs 38-10.
Yeah, I was going to say 24 points is what I was going to say. Georgia looks good, gets the win at home.
All right, Alabama and Florida State. I can't do it. That heavy lean from your secret mouse in the phone is telling me that I need to take Alabama. So Herb and Raj, I'm picking Alabama.
Yeah, Herb and Raj, I'm picking with the advice of my friend Jeff Cameron from Florida State. I'm not picking with you, Herb and Raj. I'm picking with Jeff Cameron from Florida State, who's telling me that it shouldn't be close. Just so it's clear and on tape.
That's good stuff. That is so good. Okay, Illinois State and Oklahoma, Joe. Oklahoma still masquerading as an SEC team.
I mean, again, I don't. Who? Oh, who?
Oh.
But I mean, for the sake of the fact that it's Illinois State, give me Illinois. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
I'm gonna go with Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, I'm with you. I really do think Mateer is going to be a lot of fun to watch for them at quarterback. If that running back helps them out at all, that offense could be better. Give me Oklahoma. I hit the wrong button. This next game, I'm not even sure I didn't even know this was a thing. Like the fact that Long Island played football. Make me an iced tea and head back up north. Florida's going to win this one easy.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You're going to keep everybody off of Napier's butt for week 1 anyway.
Holy cow, Long Island. I mean, no disrespect, but I didn't even know y'all played football. All right, UTSA and Texas A&M.
Who scheduled that game, by the way?
It had to be somebody else canceled, and you couldn't get anybody. There better be a good story for that, because that's I don't even know what to make of that.
I just want to see the uniforms. Is it a Long Island Iced on the helmet?
It's like baby blue and like yellow, kind of like SEC, except not dark blue. It's like baby blue. So it's something like that. All right. UTSA and Texas A&M, Elko at home. I think the Fighting Reveilles, I think they beat UTSA. Yeah.
Yeah, my boy Andrew Monaco would be mad at me if I didn't pick Texas A&M. So
we know you have to pick Texas A&M every week. We know, Joe. I know. All right, Vandy and Diego heading out there to kick off the season. They're going to be on prime time kickoff, but not on primetime TV. They got Charleston Southern. I mean, Vandy's going to win this thing, Joe. They're 1-0.
Okay. I will agree with you, not so wholeheartedly, but I will agree with you that Vanderbilt gets the win. I
Okay.
mean, what's wrong with Charleston Southern, man?
I'm again, no disrespect. I'm friends with everybody. Show of the people, for the people, by the people. That's what I'm saying. Okay, Joe. Not the game of the week.
Yeah.
LSU and Clemson over at Death Valley, a top 10 matchup according to the preseason polls, Joe. Give me a little bit more meat on the bone about why you think this one's going to go the way it goes.
Well, I'm gonna give you the conversation that I've been having in the text over here with Matt. He's big on Texas, big on Clemson for their defensive coach. Their new coach got a good scheme in there, good coach. They're going to play well on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think that that's an issue, but I just think they don't have enough. I'm actually, you know what? Because it's at home and it's Clemson, I got a good mind to go with those Tigers. But because their mascot is just a malfeasance of a mascot, I'm
He's
not.
scary.
I'm going to go with LSU.
Yeah.
And say that they get the win on the road because LSU is just a premier team this year. They are a team that's going to play for a national title. I have them. I talked about it last week, playing in a national title game. Can't have them fall into Clemson here in week one. It will be LSU getting the win.
Okay. I'm going to get there a little different way. I don't disagree with our boy Matt. I think Clemson's going to play great defense. Yeah. I also, though, believe that they have something to prove when it comes to stopping the run. They were not really good against the run game last year. And I'm not saying LSU is a bunch of road graders and they're going to pound the ball. They're not. The Nussmeier is their ticket here, okay? But I think that LSU is going to be able to run the ball enough against that Clemson defense to be able to take advantage of what Nussmeier can do. So I'm with you. Give me LSU on the road. Brian Kelly actually gets a win in the opening game. And yeah, LSU is off and running because I have LSU having a pretty good year myself. So yeah, I'm on LSU right there with you. This next game, Joe, is Georgia State, and I know we love to talk about Georgia State and Ole Miss, and you got a lot to say about old Blue Pants and all that. But there's a for Georgia fans. Our boy Branson Robinson, who was over here with us for a couple of years and had some injury issues or whatever, he transferred over to Georgia State. Just needed a fresh start, and I wish him nothing but the best. So even if Georgia State goes down there and takes the L, I hope Branson gets to touch the ball. I hope he gets through the game healthy. I hope he shows out. You know what I mean? So in good conscience, though, I have to pick Ole Miss here, but I am hoping that Georgia State and Branson Robinson can get some stuff done. You got any thoughts?
Yeah, my boy Dave Cohen over at Georgia State, big fan of his. And again, we talked a little bit about Robinson. I hope he has a great season. I agree with you there, but I just don't think that there's any real competition in this game at all, really.
Yeah, well, roster-wise, you know. But then again, listen, Vandy went down to Georgia State and lost. Georgia State beat Tennessee a couple of years ago. So I know those are different teams. I'm just saying it's not like Georgia State can't make a play occasionally. You know what I mean? So I would like to see them be good, for the record. I would like to see Georgia State be good and competitive. Now, this game, Joe, Virginia Tech and South Carolina, all offseason, I loved the idea of this game because in my brain, I had it happening up in Virginia, right? I'm like, that's going to be awesome. They're going to do the Inner Sandman, right? It's going to be great. And then I was like, no, wait, it's a corporate kickoff. They're down here at the Dome. So it kind of took some of the shine off this game for me. Make it a double, but I'm still going to ride with Lenore Sellers, South Carolina. I understand Virginia Tech's got a pretty good quarterback, but you know, all in all, I got to go with the Gamecocks here.
That's right. And I'm just reading in the chat, by the way, Teresa, I do like it. And again, I love my Georgia State folks. I got connections there. We got players, in mentioning one here, graduate of our high school here, signed with Georgia State. Go Ty Sneed. That's right. David, quarterback, East Dublin. He's a player on the basketball court and the football field. But sorry, they're going to play better. Not going to play better against Ole Miss. But I feel you, Teresa. I do. Thanks for chatting with me. That's good.
I do hope. Because again, that's another former Georgia head coach that's over there. You know, so I want to Dale McGee, head coach over at Georgia State. So I want to see him do well. I mean, I'm a little bit of a homer.
Did you pick this game, or did you ask me to? I was reading the chat.
I already picked South Carolina.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to say that, I bragged on South Carolina. Right? I bragged on them last week. Good quarterback over there.
Mm-hmm.
Make some ruckus.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the border team that stays in the 3 with the 9-game schedule and all that
Could
stuff.
be. Could
Like South
be.
Carolina. I
Yep.
do. But I want to pick Virginia Tech here. I do. I want to pick Virginia, but I'm not. I'm going to pick South Carolina, but I want to pick Virginia Tech.
South Carolina has their issues. We got to figure out who's going to stop the run for South Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do about that.
You're going to talk me into it real easily. Don't. Maybe you should. I don't know. How the hell with it? Give me Virginia Tech. Go ahead. Give me Virginia Tech. I'll take them. Why not?
There you go. That's pretty good stuff right there. All right, Joe, we're going to switch it on over here. I'm going to get us to the right page, and then we are going to go ahead and take a look around the country because there's some other stuff going on out here that I think is pretty interesting, and we can pick these games too. And then we're not going to pick them all, but we are going to pick the ones that are the most interesting. The first one is Nebraska and Cincinnati, and if I'm not mistaken, they kick off here in just a few minutes. Nebraska and Cincinnati, Joe, who you got, man? Nebraska's on the road, right? They're on the road, which is kind of wild, but here we go.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska on the road, and they're playing in Cincy, and I like the Bearcats, man. I mean, I do. I've always been kind of a fan of them there on the road or at home. They play pretty well there. I'm gonna give the nod to Cincinnati.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yep. Well, we'll get some separation because I like Cincinnati too, but I feel like Nebraska's going to be able to run the ball a little bit better this year than they did last year. I think that's probably going to be the thing that helps them the most as far as advancing their offense, you know. So I'm going to go with Nebraska, just simply betting on the fact that they can run the ball just a little bit better than they did last year. Okay, so what's the next game I'm looking for? Okay.
Carol, tell me a bar near you. You know, if we're buying, I want to buy you around. I got to know where to buy, man. You know,
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, you know, it's
on Reds. If you want to meet me in Nashville, we can go up there.
Ooh. See, now that sounds like a good time. I got to tell you, you got to love buggy tech. That's all I'm gonna say, because the way I set it up, it's just being all kinds of buggy. So now we got to go back into it, and maybe it'll work for us now. All right, Joe, Georgia Tech and Colorado. Dion had some off-season issues. His boys went off to the league. What's it going to be for the Buffaloes this year? That's what everybody wants to know. Georgia Tech, that was a good team last year. They were dangerous. You know, hell, I picked Georgia Tech to beat my Dogs at the Dome at the end of this year. Can you believe it? I did it. Got to pick a loss somewhere. And Georgia has mud stomped Georgia Tech for the last 20 years. Like, I think Tech has 3 wins in the last 20, 25 years, and I'm not even certain those count. I think they might have been under probation or something when those happened. Georgia has owned Tech. So I feel stupid for picking Tech to beat Georgia, but whatever. Tech and Colorado is what we're talking about tonight. So
yeah,
you tell me, could Georgia Tech go out there to altitude and do what they want to do against Colorado?
Yes, I'm going to take Tech. Where my boys Robin Ben at? They're going to love to hear it. I'm going to take Tech. I'm taking Tech up in Colorado.
Well, I think everything in me says I want to take Georgia Tech here because I really like their quarterback. I respect their head coach. I think they have a good coaching staff, a solid defense. I know that Colorado is replacing some pieces, and I'm not just talking about the quarterback and Travis Hunter. But when you lose a Travis Hunter, when you lose a Joe Horn Jr. at wide receiver, and you're Colorado, I just don't know if you're going to reload that the way maybe you think you will. Yeah, give me Georgia Tech. Give me Georgia Tech to beat Colorado, and, I'm off to a running start there is what I'm saying.
Before it gets going in the chat, I got to ask you, Jeremy, Nebraska popcorn farts? I don't understand. It's Nebraska ellipsis popcorn farts in the chat.
I don't know.
I have no idea, but I need some context around that, my boy.
Yeah, you got to educate us because I don't know about that either. The cool thing,
context around that.
Nebraska has a wonderful home field advantage, and they grow a lot of corn, Joe. So maybe it's just a play on corn. Maybe that's all we're talking about there. But but I do like they have a big home field advantage out there. I do like to watch like Nebraska enter the field when they're at home because that's kind of a fun scene they have set up out there. Scrolling, I'm just scrolling. I'm getting us down here, just getting us down here to this next game that we care about. We're on the all like what's it called? All Division One games here, FBS. Because Joe, I had to get down here to the Big 12. The Big 12 and the Big 10 are squaring off out in Southern California. Your Utes taking on, I've already left you, and now he's playing for UCLA. Iamaliava is out there. So what do you think? Are they got anything for them out there at UCLA, or is this all Utes all day, all the time?
Yeah, I just can't pull for UCLA to win anything other than maybe ladies volleyball, sand volleyball outside. I think they're pretty good at that.
Oh,
So
man.
I got to go with the Utes here. That's all there is to it. Sorry.
Hey, I'm gonna pick Utah also, but not for the UCLA hate. I mean, now given a
It's
choice,
not hate. I just think that their best program is their ladies volleyball. That's all I'm saying.
no, hey, I'm not being dismissive of that at all. Those girls
No.
and the softball and
Talent, man.
the
Yeah,
basketball
softball too.
team, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Kill it.
But
Thanks
I
for
am,
the context, Jeremy, by the way. Appreciate that in the chat there. Chris
Well,
Tittle. Good stuff. Okay.
oh yeah, there it is. I'm with you, brother. Yeah, so
Anyway.
give me Utah to beat Maliava. I've already left Tennessee and UCLA because I think the way Utah plays football is I can hang my hat on what they do. I don't know that
Yeah.
I can hang my hat on what UCLA does. So there we go. Gosh almighty, I'm gonna have to do it again. All right. Well, at least this time.
You're right, 225 girl, by the
What-
way. The SEC
what-
fans are rooting against Nico to fall,
Mhm.
to fail at UCLA.
That was just weird,
I
man.
don't know that I'm rooting for him to fail because he's at UCLA.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the reason. I just
Well,
don't like. Well, anyway, good.
The,
Just
the
reading
whole
the chat.
the whole thing about that, there's so many back and forths about it because at first we're like, good for you, Heupel, don't get blackmailed. But then you hear about what happened with Dia Maliava, and I'm like, so a part of me feels bad for the kid because I'm like, did you make these decisions or did somebody close to you make these decisions? Like, how did you end up in this spot? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't know. It seems ugly, but either way, I'm picking Utah. All right, Joe, we're finishing up strong here. You ready? All right, here we go. What we're going to do, let's pick TCU North Carolina first because Bill Belichick is why we're picking this game. That's the only reason. TCU is heading over to play the new Tar Heels under Bill Belichick. Do you think that's going to matter at all? Do you care what Carolina does this year? Do you think it's going to be interesting at all? Because all you've heard all this offseason is about Bill Belichick and his relations.
I think that Bill Belichick will he'll have impact on that program. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I don't know that it'll be all the to-do that people probably want it to be. He's not going to go in there and turn them into a Patriots of the collegiate leagues. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I do think North Carolina will win this ball game. That's who I'm picking for reasons that I'm not going to express on the show. But I'm not a fan of the Horned Frogs. I'll just leave it at that and say that Carolina gets the win.
Okay. Well, for the record, I'm going to pick North Carolina too because the missus, as you know, is a big Tar Heel. So I'm gonna go with North Carolina because of that. But I am interested to see what happens with Bill over there, just because I know he'll bring stability to the program. They'll institute, guidelines and standards and all that kind of stuff. The question is, can he recruit and manage NIL? And it seems to me like he would have an easier handle managing the NIL stuff than he would actually being in living rooms and recruiting. So that's just my take. We'll see. I mean, maybe they come out and they're just gangbusters, but I want you to show me. Joe, I saved the best for last just for you. My gift to you, Joe. Notre Dame, fresh off of a national championship game appearance, taking on the Miami Hurricanes, Joe. The U down in Miami with Georgia's old quarterback. now playing for them. By the way, Notre Dame has a new quarterback too. His name is CJ something or other. It escapes me in the moment, but kid's a true freshman, supposed to be a player, supposed to be a good player, but he's a freshman. So you got a freshman quarterback going down there with a good running game. Notre Dame could flat run it, and they can play defense to take on Carson Beck and that Miami offense, which can do some stuff. They can put some points on the board, you would expect. So tell me about it, Joe. Back in the day, are you old enough to remember what they called this game back in the 80s when Lou Holtz was up there? Or I'm sorry, early 90s when Lou Holtz was up there and the U came to town? Do you remember?
It's a vague memory, but
Yeah.
I can't say it. I can't call it. No.
Catholics versus convicts.
That's right.
That's
I
right.
remember watching the ESPN special. There it is.
There it is.
Catholics
And
versus
back in the
convicts.
day, this was a big thing. Everybody was a flutter about Notre Dame. The good guys versus the bad guys. You know what I mean? So I don't think we're not looking at that today. These two programs, although they're both in the top 10, these are not the same, as they were then. But I don't think so. So I don't know. Who you got? I mean, that's a long road trip for Miami. For Notre Dame all the way down to Miami. I am a Bulldog that I don't hate Carson Beck because I identify him as a guy who, regardless of how you feel about him as a leader or any of that, when it comes to his measurables, like he's flat a guy that could end up being a top 5 pick by the time we get to the spring, period.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. And if he's got an offensive line that's going to take care of him, and they're big and talented, and wide receivers who will catch the ball, which they have, then and they're at home, I think I'm going to take Miami. Because Notre Dame has that freshman quarterback and they're just trying to replace everything. Just give me Miami. The road trip, all of it. I think Miami gets it done.
Yeah, I think Miami gets the win too. And I think one of the reasons Miami gets the win, outside of all the things you mentioned there already, is you've got Carson Beck, who, guess what, has seen Notre Dame. He's seen them play, right?
Yeah.
He has experience against this defense.
Oh, well, no, he was hurt. He was hurt, remember?
But
he saw him. Saw him up
saw
close.
it.
Yeah.
He understands it. I think that gives him an edge where he's going to have a feel for that. I think it's going to be beneficial for him. So,
all right. So we are both on Miami. All right, Joe. Now, friends, if you have stayed with us this long through the show, first off, thanks for being here. You guys make it great for being in the chat with us. I love how you pick the games with us. This is good because I see myself getting checked. I'll be like, who am I picking? Oh, crap. They're not picking that team. So, and it gets better as we go through the season. So I appreciate y'all being here with us. Thanks for hanging out. We have a brand new segment here on the show. We've never done it before. And your boy is not knowing what it is we're doing. He's about to see it for himself first, right along live with you guys. Are everybody ready? Is everybody ready? Joe, you ready?
No, well, sure. All right.
Cool. Let's do it. What do you think about that, my brother? What do you think about that?
I have my own graphics now. I love it.
That's right. Joe Show. All I heard all off season was give us more Joe Show. And I'm like, how can I do that? How can I give the people what it is they want? And so I came up with this idea. Joe, I mean, both of us, we don't mind bumping our gums a little bit. We don't mind that. And in the past, you've been a leader of men. So I thought, why not just let Joe coach them up every week? And this week, Joe, I'm going to give you the microphone. We're talking to all of the SEC.
All right.
2 years in a row, Joe. Aghast. We haven't won a national championship. The sky is falling. Everybody thinks that the SEC is trash. Everybody seems to think that, the Big Ten is the new money, right? That's what we're going with here. I need you to talk to the SEC teams across the country tonight as they get ready for their games this weekend, because we know they're watching. You talk to them. You let them know. Get them fired up, Joe, so that when they take the field, they are going to go out there and represent the SEC the way we need them to represent the SEC. You ready?
I am.
All right, let's do it, man.
So here we go. Here we go, guys. SEC, listen. We've got the ring right here. It's been 2 years since we got to wear the ring. It's right here. Listen, everybody in the nation knows we're pretty. We can't help it that we're pretty. We can't help it that we smell good, that we can dance all night. Woo! They can't help it. Hey, you, Big Ten, shut up when I'm talking, all right? You, right there, I'm talking to you. I'm going to make your woman go, woo, 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 all night long, all right? Listen, just because we can dance, we smell good and we're pretty, it can't help it. But SEC, I need you. I need you to go get the ring, all right? Woo! That's all I got to say. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Let me go.
There it is, people. There it is. Only the way show can bring it to you right there. Oh, man, that was good stuff, Joe. That was good stuff. Got to get them fired up and ready to go.
There you go.
Got to get them fired up and ready to go. Man, that's it. We had a good time. I had a good time. Joe, did you have a good time this week?
Hey, I got to reference Ric Flair and didn't know it. So, I mean, you know, I'm fired up.
And if the mix was off, tonight, I apologize on the music. I couldn't tell. I thought I had it lower, but we'll see. We'll see. I hope y'all could hear Joe just fine. I'll work on that moving forward. But we like the new segment, I hope. Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Do we love the segment? Because the people told me, Joe, for months, they're like, we need more Joe Show. I'm like, well, all right. We'll figure out some way to give you some more Joe Show. We'll make it happen.
Give me some love there.
That's right. Because Joe said so. Woo! All right, cool. Well, y'all know how it is. We'll tally it all up. We'll give you the totals next week. We'll do all this again. Make sure you come on back with us over here at 8 p.m. on Thursday nights. And if you're bored on Wednesdays, come check us out on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, because I do a little thing where we don't do nothing but talk about Georgia. So if you got to have Georgia, meet me on Wednesday. You want to talk about the conference? Come see us on Thursday. We hang out and have a good time. Joe, any parting shots for the good people?
Yeah, well, of course, you can find Randy's good stuff there on YouTube and on the live streams. And, of course, you can follow me if you want to hide GHSA All Access. You got the brand here. You got SC high school football across the state of Georgia news and Sports IQ with my man Larry Smith and others. You can find it all streaming on your radio dial, streaming. WRBJradio.co. That's .co.co. Okay, so WRBJradio.co. And I would love to have you there. We'll be calling high school football tomorrow night. We'll be on the air starting at about 5 p.m. with our pregame show and live at 7:30. So tune in if you want to hear some great high school football or just some good stuff. I appreciate it. And you can watch Randy on the visuals and listen to me on the other side.
There you go. See, we got it covered. A multimedia group of media operators over here.
There you go.
Professionals. That's what we're talking about. Joe, Auburn plays tomorrow night. I cannot, in good faith, in good conscience, let those Auburn Tigers take the field tomorrow night without hitting them with at least one of these.
Auburn sucks. I don't care for Auburn. Nothing.
No, I don't. And the misses don't either. I mean, that's just how we get down. So with all that said, best of luck to everybody out there. I hope nobody suffers injuries. Everybody gets through this stuff healthy. Well, before you know it, we're going to be in the league play, and we're just going to have too many good games going on. You know what I'm saying?
Jeremy, I can't believe I forgot the alligator shoes, man.
Oh, I know.
God, what was I thinking? I'll be better prepared next time.
That's all right. That's exactly right.
Thank God.
That's exactly. Now, this was all Ric Flair. You never know, people. We are 80s babies. So you might see some Dusty Rhodes up in here. You might see some Ric Flair up in here. You might even get some jump up, high five, rock and roll express. You never know what can happen.
Hey,
you
don't know.
You don't know.
You see me with some neon bandanas going on in here. Let me tell you. I'll double drop kick you off the top rope. I don't know. I might not get back on camera because I will not be able to get out of the floor, but I will drop kick you off the top rope.
Oh man, that's right. All right, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Y'all
love
take
you.
care.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
That's right. Enjoy the college football, you guys. We'll see you again next week.